Are you thinking about buying Nioxin but you're not sure what level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 is for you? Well, if you're curious, then all you gotta do is stay tuned. This video is for you. Buying Nioxin can be actually kind of confusing. I was trying to buy it myself and I was looking at the website and I was even looking at the display in a beauty supply shop and I couldn't quite figure it out. But then when I actually did buy a system, and I ended up buying system 2, there's a chart here that explains what they all are. I'm gonna go take you through them so you know maybe which one is right for you, but then I'm gonna give you my suggestions on what to buy because I think my advice differs from what you're just seeing straight up here. I've heard from a few other women too over on Instagram. So if you've never connected with me there, go ahead and follow me on Instagram where I talk about hair care products, which is something I do here. I also make shampoo review videos, so go ahead and check some of those out here on my channel. But let's get right into this chart. Light thinning. So number 1 is for light thinning and number 2 is for progress thinning. And I'll put the chart up and it says that this is for natural hair. So what does that mean? That means hair that's never been colored, is not processed in any way, is not permed, no keratin treatments, none of that kind of stuff, just virgin hair as they would call it. Number 3 and number 4 are for colored hair. And that means in this case, let's say you have gray hair, but your hair is dark and you're covering it with like a semi-permanent or a permanent just color. Nothing that's lifting, I would say, just straight up depositing color onto your hair. Then the 3 and the 4 would be for you. There is light thinning, which is 3, and progress thinning, which is 4. And then we move on to the 5 and the 6. Now the 5 is for light thinning and the 6 is for progress thinning for chemically treated hair. What that means is people who are bleaching their hair, and that's what it says on the website. It says like bleached hair, but I would also say probably permed hair might go in there. Anything where you've had to put chemicals to sort of change the bond structure of your hair, or anywhere that you probably would be more susceptible to damage. And we know that bleaching your hair really damages it, and we know that perming your hair tends to damage it as well, as does chemically straightening your hair. So my thinking is that that's what that would be for. And let me tell you, there's not a lot, like I was looking over at Nioxin's actual YouTube video offerings, and they do talk about sort of their 3D system here, which is derma, density, and diameter, but they don't go into too much detail about the systems one by one. So I thought that this would be helpful for you guys because I haven't seen too much of that here on YouTube. One thing I just wanted to really point out here that I think is probably the most important thing to note, and where I made a mistake in purchasing, is that the moisture goes up according to the level. So 1 is your lightest moisture level, at least according to this, because it says light moisture. And as you sort of go up in the steps, you get more moisture. So you get balanced moisture for the colored hair, and then you get intense moisture for the number 5 and 6, right? So does that make sense? So like 1 and 2, light moisture, not that much moisture. 3 and 4, balanced moisture. And 5 and 6, a lot of moisture, because if your hair is more damaged, theoretically you need more moisture. So that's where my thinking on this differs a bit. I went ahead and I bought system 2, and I was adequately happy with it. You know, I did like the shampoo. You can go ahead and watch. I'll link up the video that I made about my Nioxin shampoo review. I tried it out for a bit over a week, and you can see all the details of what I said about that. Who would number 1 be for? I was trying to figure this out, and that's why I skipped it. I actually don't have a lot of thinning right now. I have recovered from hair loss at this point in time, although I may lose my hair again. One never knows on this hair loss journey. But who's gonna buy the light thinning one? Like, who's going around saying, yeah, I guess I just have light thinning, I should buy a shampoo? Like, usually when we notice we're thinning and we're losing our hair, we feel like we'd want to step right into progress thinning, number 2. At least that was my thinking about this. By the time we're usually losing hair though, we're usually kind of in a panic situation about it, so we go to the number 2. So that's what I did. For me though, it wasn't hydrating enough. I actually think that you don't need to, I think, follow these so closely. And the reason I say that is I looked at all the ingredients, and the active ingredient in the shampoo anyway seems to be salicylic acid, and that goes from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. What I think that probably a better way to use this would be, and this is not a medicine, right? So just so that you guys know, everything that's in here is over-the-counter type stuff. So I feel very confident, even though I'm not a doctor or a dermatologist, I feel very confident giving you this info because I know a lot about shampoo and hair care. I think that you should step it up for the moisture. I think that almost everybody could benefit from more moisture and not less in their hair. So I would say if I were to repurchase, I'm gonna probably go in at the 5 because I want more moisture. I feel like the number 2, while it wasn't a super stripping shampoo, it was definitely more of a clarifying shampoo and definitely not one that I'd want to use every time that I shampoo. It just left my hair just that tad too dry, and that is what I've heard from other women as well. And I have heard from other women on Instagram saying that they used 3 and they used 4 and they used 2, and all of them said uniformly that they want to step up the level next time that they buy Nioxin, meaning that they don't want to use 2, they want to use a 4 or a 5, and that would be me too. Or someone said they used a 3 and she says she's going to go ahead and bump up the level too because we need more hydration. Why do we need more hydration? Well, I'm going to talk to you about that in just a second, but this is a good opportunity for me to ask you guys to like, subscribe, and also consider supporting me on Patreon. Patreon is my community for hair loss and hair care. It's $5 a month. I try to make it affordable for everybody so everybody gets the same access. I mean, you can spend more, but for $5 a month, you'll support me here so I can make these videos that are not sponsored. This is completely not sponsored by Nioxin. What I do here is not sponsored. I spend my own money. I get the support of my patrons to help fund these products so I can make completely unbiased reviews. So yeah, Nioxin didn't sponsor this in any way. So if you consider helping me there, I'll go ahead and drop a link down in the description box. And what I'll also do so that you don't have to take notes on all of this, I will drop the numbers and I'll drop what they do down below in the description box. Let's hang on, and I've got more to tell you. I've got lots more to tell you, so stick around for that. In the world of acne medication and skincare, we've moved away from the model that we used when I was young. A long time ago now. 20 years plus ago, I struggled a lot with acne, and the thinking then very much was completely strip your face. Just use the strongest, harshest, use that St. Ives apricot scrub and just scrub every tiny bit of oil off your face and then put on your products. And the thinking about skincare and the knowledge has moved away from that. And we know that that's not a great idea. You just wreck your barrier, your skin barrier, and then you set yourself up in a cycle when you're using things that are too stripping. You strip off all the oil and your face just makes more oil to compensate for it. And that can still happen now if you use any strong products, or if you over cleanse your face, you'll notice you actually make more oil. You'll dry it and make yourself make more oil at the same time, which is a really strange place to be in, but your scalp is skin as well. And so I feel like a lot of products on the market are and a lot of people that are struggling with hair loss just go for things that are just too drying, too stripping. You don't need all of that. What you tend to need is more moisture. Try and maybe up the frequency of how often you wash your face. If you're a makeup wearer, you have to wash your face for your medicines and everything else to work, and for your skin to be nice and clean, and for your pores to be clean. You shouldn't be going to bed with makeup on. I think you know that, or at least I hope you know that at this point. You wash it all off, but you don't overstrip, right? Then you moisturize and all that stuff, and then you go to bed and then repeat in the morning kind of thing. And so my thinking about scalp care and hair care is very much the same thing. Don't overstrip it. Use something more moisturizing, so I will definitely be bumping up my level. The 2 is just not enough moisture, not enough hydration. In fairness, my hair is a 2A, 2B wave, so my hair's slightly on the wavy side. And my scalp is normal. It's not really dry. I don't have dandruff or anything like that. I would say if you're a curly girl, my advice is you do not want to probably touch anything below a 3. They will just be too drying for your hair. If you're strictly curly girl method, you're not going to be using these products because they have ingredients in them that do not jive with the whole method. If you're sort of a modified curly girl, you might want to try this. And if you're thinking about giving it a try, I would go into the 5 or the 6, maybe the 3 or the 4, depending on how dry your hair is. But you're going to want to up that moisture content, and you're not going to do it at the 1 and 2. Those are kind of drying. Should you buy the whole system? Do you need the conditioner? Do you need the scalp treatment? So I'm going to tell you all about that now. I also just want to make clear that shampoos do not work for hair loss. So I hate to disabuse you of any notion you might have that you're going to use Nioxin and your hair loss your issues are going to stop. That is not true, and Nioxin actually does not make any claims. If you look at this box, not in a single place does it say anything about hair loss and reducing hair loss. What they talk about is getting thicker, fuller hair. What they talk about is just some results that people say that they've had. They feel like they have more hair after a month. They believe hair is strengthened against damage in a month, and they believe hair is thicker looking after 2 weeks. And those are all fine, but you can feel like you have more hair in 30 days. You can't actually have more hair in 30 days, like not at a point down here that you would feel it, right? Because hair only grows half an inch. So generally speaking, if your hair is slightly on the longer side, you probably feel like you have more hair because your hair feels thicker, which would stand to reason for me. But nowhere does it say it addresses hair loss, which is completely accurate and fair. They wouldn't say that because it doesn't. It doesn't do anything. You actually need probably a medical treatment like minoxidil or Rogaine, which are products that I use that have helped me grow my hair back. Not that I'm pushing that on you, but by all means, if you want to try the Nioxin and see how it works for you, it's a perfectly nice shampoo. I don't have any issues with it. But just know that people don't typically say that it grew their hair back. They typically say, yeah, I've been using it for ages, I've been using it for months, and it's nice, but it hasn't grown my hair back. Just so you know, that's what I've been hearing from people, and they don't make any claims either. Apologies Apologies for that tangent, but I think it was probably and hopefully a useful one. Let's talk about the conditioner and the scalp treatment. The conditioner smells just like the shampoo, which is kind of a minty smell. I talk about this on the review that I had mentioned before. I don't feel that you need the conditioner. I feel like if you want to try any of these products, the shampoo is perfectly adequate and you should save a little bit of money. Just use whatever conditioner you already have, unless you really want to have that layering of that pepperminty smell. That pepperminty scent doesn't last that long in my experience. So what I would say is just stick with whatever conditioner you kind of like right now. Why? The shampoo targets your actual scalp. You put shampoo on your scalp, right? Conditioner doesn't go on your scalp. It's not supposed to. You're supposed to concentrate on your mids to your ends. And if you're a guy, it's not really something that you dig and you shouldn't be digging, but it's not really something, conditioner is not something you rub on your scalp. It's just something you kind of glide really over the top of your hair. If it's not touching your scalp, then technically you don't need it. It's not going to do anything technically to address thinning hair from the scalp level, but it can make your hair look maybe a little bit fuller. What it does have going for it is that it's just easy. You could pick it up and they blend well together. It's lightweight. It doesn't like weigh your hair down. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, like, probably any conditioner from the drugstore that says it's lightweight is probably going to do a perfectly adequate job as well as just be much less expensive. I did not care for the scalp treatment. You're welcome to try it, of course, if you want. The active ingredient in here is niacinamide, and niacinamide is not a hair loss ingredient. What niacinamide is a skincare ingredient. So it's something that you commonly see in acne medications. You do sometimes see it in dandruff shampoos. For me, it just made my hair it made my scalp itchy, which is apparently a normal side effect of it, but because I'm already using my minoxidil, which is also known as Rogaine, I just didn't see the point. I just don't see the point of this. It didn't do anything. It made my hair kind of sticky, give me some manageability issues. I don't recommend it. If your hair is like mine, you're welcome to try it. This does not address hair loss. It addresses scalp health. Yes, and it even says on the box, it's supposed to address, I believe, diameter of the 3Ds that they talk about here. So the derma is for the shampoo, the density is for the conditioner, and I believe the diameter is supposed to be this scalp treatment. I didn't find it did anything, just kind of made me a bit itchy. Didn't really make my hair look better either. I don't know. I would give this a miss and just go right for the shampoo if you're really curious to try. And if you do like the shampoo and you're loving it, then by all means buy all of them, but that's just a way to maybe save yourself a bit of cash. There are a lot of companies that talk about hair care and hair loss products, and a lot of people, I'm not saying Nixon is doing anything fishy. I actually think they do a great job of being very upfront about their marketing, at least on their packaging that's available at the retail level. But there are a lot of companies out there with shampoos, and they make a lot of claims about hair loss, and shampoo doesn't do anything for hair loss. I hate to be the one to break the news. If you don't believe me, go ahead and watch some doctors that are here. There's a YouTube channel called The Hair Loss Show, I believe it is, and you'll see an actual hair loss dedicated doctor talking about the role of shampoo if you don't believe what I have to say here. But I know we always want to try different things, so I just thought I would make this here to help explain to you whether you should be buying the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why do they have so many numbers? It's so confusing. Those are my thoughts, and I just wanted to make a video to help you figure out what's what on this list. And maybe you're standing at Marshall's, you're not sure which one to buy. This happened to me. I could have bought the 4. They had it there on sale, but I didn't because I wasn't sure if I could use it. I totally could have used it. So hopefully this helps someone. I just want to say thanks so much for spending your time here with me, and we will see you soon.